First, my eyes don't cooperate. They're going to be a mess later. Promise. Promise. And now my hair is getting on the act. Yeah, it's been one of those days. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today is my sometimes I question my sanity, but the unicorn in the kitchen says I'm just fine mug. This is a very, very cute mug. I really enjoy this mug, and I kind of needed some unicorns today because we have been having a day putting this together. Anyway, today's tea is the Stash Teas Mango Passionfruit. Haven't had this one in a while, so I don't remember what it tastes like. It's in my boxes, so I must have liked it, and I do believe I bought a large amount of it, so I must have liked it. I'm going to go ahead and give her a sip, and we will get started. It smells pretty. Okay, she's still working on it. And she's still really hot. But I'm already starting to get some of that fruity flavor in the background. So we're just going to let it sit. It's not going to get too strong today because today is one of our Get Ready With Me's. And as most of you know, when I do Get Ready With Me, I actually put the look together first. And then the tea comes later. So the tea doesn't get as much of a chance to steep as usual, unfortunately. Anyway, so today I did this look based on things that people who are in the domytriesthis Facebook group picked, and that included a few palettes here that weren't specifically mentioned, but somebody wanted blue glitter, so we took the blue glitter out of the Artist Morphe 24A Artist Pass palette. They wanted Bright Vibes. We had a bit of a miscommunication about which palette, but in the end, we've got the Violet Voss Bright Vibes and the Urban Decay Electric. We're going to be using that today. Those were chosen. The Hip Dot Perfect Face palette was chosen for the contour as well as the blush. Somebody wanted an Ofra highlighter, so we've got this Ofra highlighter in Pillow Talk. She also wanted pink lips. Somebody else wanted something else on the lips, so I put her pink in the Ofra. And the foundation that was chosen for today is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. It's a very nice foundation. It's just like $6, I believe. And it's got a very nice finish, and it's one of the foundations I actually really enjoy and I need to use. So, and then somebody requested glitter, and we had a request for oil slick, possibly on the lips. And so that's the stuff that got used today. And one new thing that I used today was the ColourPop liquid liner in white. This actually didn't work out as well as I hoped, as you'll find out later. I had to supplement it to, and even then I don't think it worked out as well as I'd hoped. So that was also in there today. So this is all stuff that the group picked out based on things that they've seen me use in the past. And it resulted in this look. And if you're interested in this look, and also in my little haircut story, which is, there's no drama. It was a really good haircut. But if you're interested in any of that, well, let's go ahead and get started right now. So before we get started, to know, my neighbors are home. And there's been thumping across the floor. And apparently they have a friend over, and it's loud, and they're smoking, so the skunks are strong. So if there's any noise in the background, it's probably them, most likely. He's just loud. Anyway, gonna go ahead and get started here. So gonna start with the electric palette. Gonna take this green and put that under my brow, and then I'm gonna use the yellow from the Vibes and put that over it to lighten it. So we're gonna take this very light green up here. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk to you all about today was my haircut while we're doing all this stuff. So I did try to get photos, and I got some photos, but they've all been posted on my Instagram. And I tried to get video, but the video didn't quite work out the way I'd hoped. So you're going to get a verbal tale. Now we're getting the yellow from the Violet Boss. So the salon is in this complex, best way to put it, that essentially has a bunch of little rooms in it. They're all separate. They're glass so you can see inside. So there's a bunch of different little salons in this one big building. And she was in the back of that. And she wore a mask and I wore a mask. Everybody was safe. She was only allowed to have me in there. She couldn't have my daughter in there. Apparently it's a $1,500 fine if they have more than the client in these tiny little rooms. I don't know about larger salons, but for our salon here, that's what she said. So my daughter stayed outside, so we couldn't film the way we were going to film initially. And she did some filming, but her video didn't work for my phone or for my computer. I'm not sure what that was all about. It just didn't work. I'm going to take this light, slightly shimmery blue, put that on the inner corner. Then I'm going to take this bright blue and put that in the middle and end on this dark blue. At any rate, so went in and it was very, very different for me. She did a dry cut, which is what we really wanted. That's not nearly as shimmery as I thought it was. It's nice and bright though. When you buy all these bright palettes and you already have a bright palette in your repertoire, wow, that's something else. This is reminiscent of old Urban Decay. It really, really is. Anyway, so she basically did a dry cut and she twisted my hair and then she cut upwards, which is something that I've never had done before. Usually, I think I've mentioned, at least on the Facebook group, that I have not had, quote unquote, a commercial cut for years. I have paid a lot of money to have my hair cut only to be miserable with what they did because they treat my hair like it's straight. And so there ends up being a lot of bounce back. The hair ends up being a lot shorter than what I wanted. It's not appropriate to my curl. Most of the time, the people working with me will, they will then proceed to kind of, I guess, do a blowout. They will blow dry it, and usually blow dry it in such a way that it's straighter. So my hair got treated very poorly, and after paying anywhere from $20 at cheap salons to $50 at more expensive salons, I gave up. I wasn't going to keep paying for bad haircuts. So this was a big deal for me to go do this. But anytime they cut my hair, first of all, they got it wet. She did not get it wet. And then they would just, they would do the standard pulling it out and doing the layer thing. And she didn't do that at all. It was very, very different. And she asked about volume in the back, which was really nice for her to do because that's where one of my biggest problem areas is in the back. And so she worked on getting more volume in the back, and she was very responsive to me. One of the important things about this particular appointment, those two colors are almost the same. One of them's just a touch lighter. By the way, this color, this neon blue thing, was one of the ones requested. She didn't request particular palette. She just said neon blue in the FB group that I talked about earlier. At any rate, so it was a give and take. We talked about my hair while she was doing things. She asked a lot of questions about what I was looking for, what I wanted. I was able to do one of the things I wanted and ask a lot of questions about my hair, about my routine, about how to care for it better. I never did get an answer to one question. I think I asked it early, and she asked me if I wanted to start the consultation before she started videoing, and somehow it got skipped. So I But at this point, I'm not going to worry too much about it being whether or not I can get it much longer. I'm very, very happy at this point. But anyway, after she did the cut, she then took me over and she did this. The cut was actually probably the shortest part of the process. She went through and she fluffed it and she did all the things and she checked through it and she did some corrections and all of that stuff. It felt really, it was very organic, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like she had a specific set of things that she was trying to do from, you know, whatever she was trained. She was just looking at my hair, paying attention to its pattern. She would fluff it and go through it and she would clip here and clip there. But for the most part, she just did that upward cut thing that was very, very different to me. And then she took me over to the sink. Then she got my hair wet. Apparently, part of the process with Rezo and Diva Cuts is you start off dry, they wash your hair, they then style it, and they look through it, and then they clip anything that's out of place or not working the way it's supposed to. They fix whatever is left supposed to be. And so she took me over to the sink to wash my hair, and she also gave me a protein treatment, and we talked a little bit about that. And I learned a lot of the masks that I've been using on a weekly basis probably are higher in protein than I realize. So what she told me is probably to reduce the amount of, well, increase the length of time between protein treatments. So she wanted me to try, she was looking at, we discussed the type of protein treatments, and then I looked up one of the brands she suggested. Oh, no, I'm not going to use it. I'm sorry, it's a little too complicated for me. But I do have another one I'm going to be trying very soon, I think. So, well, not very soon, because I just had one. And apparently I should wait 6 to 8 weeks between protein treatments, which was honestly something that I needed to know. All right, so I'm going to go in with this and use this bright green in the crease. And then I'm going to use this purple to deepen it, because somebody else wanted green, wanted some blues and purples and greens. So that's what we're doing. I'm doing what they asked me to do, starting with this green. Anyway, so she gave me a protein treatment, and she didn't say anything was, you know, particularly problematic about my hair. So I'm glad that that there was no issues. Now, we did end up having to cut off a bit more than I expected. All this time that I've been self-cutting, I thought I was cutting too much, and she had to take off probably about two inches, which is a bit more than what I expected and honestly what I wanted. But at the same time, I could see what she was talking about, the ends of my hair having some damage on them. So she took care of that. And like I said, she gave me the protein treatment. And then she did the diffuse. And the diffuse was a little different than what I'm used to. She started on a higher heat. I generally try to start on a low heat or stay on a low heat. But she started on a higher heat. I don't think she went to hot. I think it was more like a medium. My particular blow dryer, diffuser does not have a low, medium, high on the heat so much. I think it has low and then a high. I'd have to look at it. But anyway, she did that, and then she was on medium, the medium or lower speed. The lower speed on my dryer seems to match what she was doing with her blow dryer. And so she did that. She started off on the higher heat, and what she was doing the whole time was she was cupping up my hair and drying it. from a distance. And you guys know that I tend to just bounce the thing in and out. So now I'm trying to incorporate that into my hair care, is to, my blow drying, is to cup my hair at first, and then I go into bouncing later. This is interesting. So she did that, and she spent a lot of time working on that. And then she worked on the back as well. Now, she spent almost an hour, I think, on my hair. With the whole appointment took like 3 hours. My daughter was getting a hold of me later going, are you okay in there? Just text me. Because she couldn't be in there, so she had to be in the car the whole time. But she did a really, really good job with that. And I'll be honest, that the shorter hair kind of put me off a little bit. I did what I normally do. I refused to look at the floor as she swept things up, because honestly, that's the first part of what makes me hate haircuts. I'd look at the floor and see how much hair was gone and be very, very upset about it. I think I'm going to grab some of this deeper shimmer using the same, from the electric palette, using the same brush, and just go a bit more in there. Deepen this up in here a bit. So she did that, and then she did a lot of hover diffusing, and she checked it, and she checked the hair length, she checked the sides. She let me do my own fluffing. Apparently there's some things she lets her clients do on their own. Just, you know, she pays attention to what the client is talking about, which I thought was really, really cool. And I'm going to grab some more of that light green. I'm going to kind of, there we go, blend that out a little bit and bring that green down here a little bit. One of the other things she did that I thought was really neat was when she was working with my hair in the sink, she didn't just do some old quick wash. She spent time on my scalp, which I thought was really, really neat. I don't think I've ever had anybody do that when they've done my hair, is spend some time on my scalp like that. That was just really cool, I thought. Felt really, really good. And considering the amount you pay for these haircuts, because seriously, her cut was honestly one of the cheaper ones I've seen, and it was still over $100, so over $125. And like Diva cuts can go to $300. So the fact that she actually spent time on my hair, on my scalp, talking to me about everything, I just really appreciated that. That was one of the reasons I wanted to actually have a an actual commercial cut, was so that I could actually talk about my hair in particular. My hair is definitely, I want to say it's unique. It's a very different curl pattern from anything I've ever seen. It doesn't coil. It doesn't really wave. It doesn't do any of the things. And I've got that frizziness that seems to stay with, you know, type 4 hair, but I don't have type 4 hair. So my hair is very, very different in that sense, that it just seems to do these things from different categories of hair without really being in any of those categories. I mean, it's pretty much in the threes. We did talk about my grays and a few other things. Apparently, areas of gray tend to curl less and be harder to get to curl, and they lose their curl over time as you get more gray. I will say that her cut did bring out more of the curl in my grayer areas, but that was interesting to discover, because I've been sitting here very upset about these areas, and she just, you don't need to be upset. This is how gray hair reacts. This is how gray hair is. It loses some of that curl, and it's harder to get it to stay and keep curled. So, yeah, it was really an interesting appointment. I really felt well cared for. She did ask me how I felt about my hair. She had gotten curl in the back. As you all know, the very back of my head, I struggle with getting curl. She'd gotten curl in the back. And just for that reason alone, I was really, really happy. I will say, since I've started styling it myself, excuse me, the curl in the back has been a bit of a problem, but I think that's me needing to learn how to style. I'm going to take some of this Ebates and put that over the middle with the glitter glue. This will be fun. So she took really good care of me. She did my hair. I had to tell her, yeah, no, I was excited about the cut. I thought the cut came out really nice. I do think it came out a bit short. At least I did at the time. She stayed under mask the whole time. I stayed under mask the whole time. We were the only two people in the room the whole time. So she did all the right things, right? But like I said, I did tell her that I liked the haircut, but I have to admit I was a little bit, I was unhappy with the length, in the sense, when she showed me what needed to be cut, I agreed that it needed to be cut, but that's not what I wanted initially. So, yeah, the length didn't make me happy, but I don't think that that was her fault so much as the fact that my hair actually needed to have that much cut. And I also knew that to give her a benefit, this is cool, great, honestly wouldn't work, because in the past, even when I've trimmed my hair, since we covered up that bright vibrant blue from the Vibes palette with glitter, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it underneath my eye. But as I was saying, even when I've cut my hair in the past, I've noticed that my hair, that I need to give it at least a couple of days, well, at least one day, to settle into the cut. I usually have to give it at least one day, and usually I have to give it a wash. So I told her I was happy with it, because I mean, I got curls in the back. I just was unhappy with the length, and that was not necessarily her fault, because it needed to be done. The length needed to come down to get rid of all the damage and stuff that was going on the ends. So, and I had given her permission for that, so I honestly didn't think I could tell her I was upset with that. But one of the things that I want with my hair is for my hair to grow longer. I would love to get it like down to my waist. I don't think that that's ever going to happen. I would love if I could get it down to the waist, and because the fact that I'm cupping it up in my diffuser closer, that I would get more along the crown. But what she did actually gave me more volume on the crown anyway. So there were a lot of things to be happy, but I needed to wait. And when I styled my own hair, I couldn't get the same amount of curl. Like I said, I think that's just a me problem with my styling. But that said, the rest of it, it styled beautifully. It was gorgeous. And I'm seeing a lot more curl in places that I've had difficulties getting curl. And whatever she did, I'm just going to go with whatever she did, because, I've had people sit there, I've had other stylists say, well, I can do a dry cut. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You can do a dry cut. I feel like this was a bit more than just a dry cut. And the way she took care of my hair and did everything else, I really felt like she paid attention to what my hair needed, and she really thought it needed the protein treatment, which surprised me because I'd tried a protein treatment earlier. And I guess the protein treatment that I do, the inches, is not nearly as protein rich as what she used, so maybe that's why. But she never said there was any buildup in my hair. She really seemed to enjoy doing my hair too, so that was kind of good. I'm going to finish off my concealer and be right back. Alrighty, so they wanted me to use my e.l.f. Flawless, which is a good thing, honestly. It's old. It's hit the 1 year mark, I think. Oh, not quite. 3 more months. 2 more months. It'll be 1 year old. And I think it has a 1 year. Oh, Lord, it has a 6 month. But so far, I haven't noticed any issues with it. So hopefully, it's still no issues with it. But yeah, I'm going to have to get some more of it, I think. I do like this particular foundation. It's a really nice foundation. At any rate, like I was saying about my hair, I really feel that she really took care of it. I have seen more curl in it, and I was much happier with it a couple days later after I let it settle, and then I washed it, and then I styled it myself. I'm still working on doing my diffusing her way. It's a little different to do all that cupping for me. And I'm still struggling with getting my hair in the back to be curlier. I still have that one little spot that doesn't seem to want to curl as much in the back. But like I said, she got a couple of places. She got the gray areas that were always so straight that have been driving me nuts with the fact that I couldn't get them to curl on the inside of near my ears. Those are actually doing much better. Those are curling a lot more, as you'll see, or as you may have noticed in a previous video. I think I've only done one video that you guys have seen with the haircut other than today's. So I may not have noticed it. But yeah, I'm just really, really happy with it. It is still not a cut that I can afford more than once a year. And when I told her that, she said, that's fine. People come in once a year, get their trims or whatever. It's what you can afford. She's not pushy. She's very sweet. I said I really felt listened to when we were talking about my hair. I've really felt listened to. I really felt like she was trying to pay attention to what I needed and what I wanted and how I wanted it all done. And she knew I wanted to keep as much length as possible. So I think even though I still feel it was a little short when we got done, that she was trying to maintain as much of the length as possible. She didn't say that I needed to take that 2 to 3 inches off just because that's, that's what she wanted. She was looking at my hair. She was paying attention to my hair specifically. A lot of times, I mean, at least in the past, I don't know much about salons now. Like I said, I don't go to salons much anymore. At all anymore. All right, so we've done our highlighting concealer. I've set everything down. I'm really enjoying this YC collection loose setting powder. I want to buy the big size, but it's not in stock. It's never been in stock. I'm hoping it wasn't given to Ipsy as we're no longer going to carry this type of thing. I'm hoping it's just because of the pandemic that we've got going on. It's we're not seeing it. At any rate, so overall, I think like I said, my haircut came out really, really nice, and it was nice before I let it sit out and do its own thing, and then it just sort of improved, which was really nice to see. I always worry about my hair looking like a freak, because I'm one of those kids. I was born before they had diva cuts and all that stuff, and I was born in a family where I was the only one with this curly pattern. Oops, I have to get rid of that. I don't even remember if my half brother had curly hair. But honestly, my mom didn't know what to do with me. There. So she did those. I'm sure people from the 70s and 80s can remember the stupid bowl cut. Damn. She would do that on my hair. She would have the bowl cut done. She kept my hair short. Again, I think it had to do with the fact that she had no idea what to do with my hair, because her hair was straight. It was the kind of straight hair, thin hair. that got stringy if it got too long. So, and my hair just turned into a big fluffy triangle if I let it grow out too far, because nobody knew how to cut my hair. And whenever I went to get a haircut, yeah. All right, so we're going to try this ColourPop liquid liner. I've tried the liquid liner in blue. It was okay. This one's in white. My biggest complaint about these is that the one that I had before dried out very, very quickly. But I wanted to, with all the bright colors everyone's doing. All right, so finished the lining, did the lashes, did a little bit of fixing. My inner eyes are being putzes today, so we're having a lot of loss in here, and it's just refusing to stick. So we're just going to move on. All right, so the other thing that got picked was the perfect face. So we're going to use the bronzer and the blush from this. This blush is a little bit more on the orangey side than I would have used, but that's okay. I'm going to use this. And, ooh, she's dark. Okay. Forgot how dark this is. It's okay, I can fix it. I can fix it. And then on the other side it says dark. What are you talking about? Nice if you all agreed. All right, yeah, that's dark. All right, so we're gonna grab one of my powder brushes, Sans powder, and just blend that in. It's still a bit dark, but it's not as dark. Back up here a little bit. So, if you wanted to know if the Hip Dot blushers and bronzers had any kind of pigment, the answer to that would be yes. My only complaint is they only have the one. They don't have it in different colors for different people, which I wish they did. But that's okay. Hopefully they'll expand that at some point. The rest of their stuff is good. All right. Then I get a soft, fluffy brush for this blush and pat that on. Like that. Guess that's not too bad. And we will go back to another tone down real quick. Mostly just to blend it all in. All right, not using the highlighter out of that because someone requested an Ofra highlighter. She also requested pink lips. But somebody else requested something else for the lips, so we're going to do our pink Ofra. This is in Pillow Talk. It's a bright pink. I'm going to use that for our highlighter. Damn fridge. I've been quiet most of the day. Anyway, I'm doing these circles because that gets the cheekbone, but it also fades it out on either side of the cheekbone. But you get a nice line on your cheekbone. There we go. Okay. So the last thing that somebody mentioned was the oil spill or oil slick. And I have an oil spill. I have the NYX Glitter Goals in oil spill. We're going to put that on in just a minute. But this is our look for right now. I'm going to go finish up with the lipstick and a few other things and, like, you know, spraying down all that stuff that you don't need to see. And we will be back in just a few. Alrighty, so here's our final look. I used the NYX Glitter Oil Slick on the lips. I also supplemented it with a NYX black lipstick I have, my e.l.f. lip oil. And somebody had wanted pink, so I threw a little bit of that on the inside. They all kind of blended in really nicely, and I think that look came out really nicely. I actually really like the way the lips look. I don't like the way they are against my teeth because unfortunately purples and things like that will highlight them if they're yellow. And yeah. But I do like the color. I hope you like the color too. At any rate, this is the look completed and done. I'm going to show you my eyes, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, which wasn't that long ago for me, but for you was probably about 30 minutes ago or so. My inner eyes are just giving me all kinds of issues, and so the look started falling apart pretty much right away. If everything is looking dark or messed up in the middle corners, it's just because of my eyes. Overall, I like the look, and I would really like to do this look again if on a day when my eyes aren't being uncooperative. But anyway, here you go. That's the look of my eyes falling apart. Like I said, I really am enjoying the look overall. I need a day to do it when it's not quite being quite such a mess. Because right now we're a bit of a mess. Quite a bit of a mess. And as you can see today, in addition to the eye look not working out, I had mentioned that my inner curls were behaving better, and of course today they're turning me into a liar. Curly hair just does what it does. But you can see that the cut did give me a bit more fullness around in here. And because it's shorter, part of it's because it's shorter, I have a bit more fullness up here. But also I think the way she cut it helped give me some lift even in the areas that aren't shorter. So I do have just a touch more volume up here. I am going to be playing around with mousse in the future to see if I can actually, there have been a number of style gurus on the gram and on the tube that have mentioned using mousse right at your roots to get you some lift. So I've got a mousse that I'm going to be playing around with for that. You know, I just realized part of the reason this may not be behaving as well as it has earlier in the week, because I swear these were a lot curlier earlier, is I did do a mask today, and masks do tend to soften my hair. This one did not soften my curl nearly as much as other masks have done in the past, but it's quite possible that this part here just got that and just elongated out, and could be the mask, because honestly, for the last week, it's been slightly less than a week now, but for the last 4 or 5 days, this area has been curling a lot better, and it actually is looking better than it has before the cut. It's just not as curly as it has been. Curly hair, you can't live with it, you can't live without it, you can't tell it what to do, it'll do its own thing. Anyway, so that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen, and if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe. If you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I currently upload 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday. However, I do have bonus videos that go up every month. My son has my Geek Box every month. They're running a little late, however, they are still shipping, as far as I know. I think we're waiting on, what is today, May? I think we're waiting on April's. I think we got March's really late in April. So I think we're waiting on April's right now. Like I said, they're running late, but they are still shipping. We also do indie brand openings on the channel. We haven't done quite so many of those this year because finances with, nobody working. It's been a mess for everybody, I'm sure. But hopefully we'll be getting more of those. I have done a couple of them recently, one of them related to hair. So those go up as they can. I'm hoping we'll get more of those as we get later in the year, but we will see because it's been a year. And we also do openings of subscriber mail if you send anything along. You don't have to, but if you do, it could possibly end up on here as a bonus video. We are not doing our garden videos, as I've mentioned before. Today is a beautiful day, but again, it's cooler than it has been in the past. My peppers wouldn't make it. Might do tomatoes later in the summer or something, but right now we're just not at a point where I feel comfortable doing anything. Plus, we have to buy new soil and all that stuff, so yeah. Hopefully next year we will be on track again and we'll be able to do it because I already miss it. I love doing the garden. Anyway, so if you're interested in any of those, you will need to have that bell click so that you are notified because they do not get put up on our regular upload days. If you are part of my notification squad, please check your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active. I've not had any problems. I don't foresee any problems, but you never know. Never know. Things happen all the time. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, I would be sad and disappointed, or sadly disappointed, however you want to think about it. However, you're always welcome back here because we love having the company. And when you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. All right, so like I said, this is not going to be that much stronger than it was. I do think it's a little bit stronger. The Passionfruit or something is starting to curdle the milk, whereas when I first showed it to you all guys, there was nothing going on. So we are starting to get a little bit in there, showing that the tea has indeed started to really steep in there. It has been at least maybe about 10 minutes, so it should be at its full strength. Let's give her a sip. Still pretty hot. Let's give her a sip and see how we're doing. Okay, yeah, wow, that's nice. I can see why I liked it. You get that mango in there. It's almost, I want to say it's almost like an orange. But it's not. So, it's mango. I don't think the passion fruit is a distinct flavor, but it is very, very good. It is very sweet. This is one of the ones that doesn't need a lot of sugar. Alrighty, so that's it for the day. I hope you have a good one.